To have good economic development, we have to have quality of life aspects that people are drawn to the cities for.
We want to have a safe community. We want to have a thriving community as well, and it really starts with our economy.
You think of Louisiana, you think of New Orleans, you think of Baton Rouge, but up in the northern part of the state, you've got a huge metro population that people can really capitalize on. When I go and meet with people, there's such a great story to tell about Shreveport, and I think it's just a story that hasn't been told for a long time and one that's not communicated. BRF launched Shreveport Next in 2020 to actively recruit businesses to Shreveport-Bossier.
Our geographic location offers a lot of benefits. We have 2 interstates here, we have a river, we have a regional airport that also has international capabilities. So we have the intrinsic things that will make a company flourish here in Shreveport.
We've met with 100 businesses around the country. We've had over a dozen interested prospects our first year, and we've been working and communicating with them based on their project needs. And we recruited a company in our first year, Omicron Technology Solutions.
Omicron is a software developer. We operate in the GovTech, EdTech space. Customers are typically large cities, large municipalities, education systems, school boards, that kind of thing. And we develop products that meet their needs. Omicron chose Shreveport because it has a lot of benefits that a larger, bigger metropolitan city doesn't have. The infrastructure is set up to where you can be anywhere in 15 to 20 minutes. That makes things like raising a family here really convenient. There is a burgeoning, cultural scene here, whether that's food, arts. There's a lot of positives that Omicron saw in Shreveport, and that coupled with some of the more business-friendly incentives made it a good match for the company.
My wife and I moved here from the West Coast, and we chose to live in a place where we can walk to a coffee shop and walk to an elementary school and walk to a grocery store. And I think being able to find that unique mix of a location and a city that is really supportive of industry and really supportive of business, but also has those amenities like breweries, like coffee shops, like local markets, that's what's really unique about Shreveport.
EAP met with over 1,200 entrepreneurs and companies. We've provided services to over 400 companies since launching in 2014. EAP has a really long list of services that we provide entrepreneurs and companies in North Louisiana.
We can educate them, we can help them run their companies successfully, and we can help them get the funding that they need so that they can launch and be successful.
Since EAP started, it's existed to serve entrepreneurs in an accelerator capacity. So after a few years of doing that, we realized that we were really onto something in terms of being able to support entrepreneurs across the state.
That's one of the places where BRF and EAP has been outstanding. These companies are going to end up somewhere, or they are somewhere. And so to have an organization like BRF that understands what state incentives or local incentives, these kinds of things actually exist, they can make the case to these companies. We can make it very advantageous for you to do business in Louisiana.
I'm Dr. Eric Rippetoe. My company is Bishop, and we're here in downtown Shreveport, Louisiana. My product is a 3D printed knee brace based on a custom scan of the individual's leg so that you get exact proportions. EAP made the most sense for me. They understand business, and so they're more willing to see the intangibles in an entrepreneur and to invest in them and to support them the entire way.
EAP is not just here for you to launch. We're with you for the distance. We want you in North Louisiana, and we want you to be successful, and we want you to be here in 20 years.
The military is already spending something like $13 billion a year on services. Very, very little of it's being spent in Shreveport, Louisiana.
As an economic development organization, BRF is a strong supporter of Air Force Global Strike Command and Barksdale Air Force Base.
Barksdale Air Force Base is the only base in the country that has a major command headquarters with a 4-star, a numbered Air Force, and 2 wings, one an operational wing and one a training wing.
This is North Louisiana's largest industry with over 9,000 service members and civilians.
Working with John George, Dave Smith, and General Elder, we decided to go out to try to get more money for this defense initiative to try to bring together private enterprise, and our government, specifically Global Strike Command.
We're working with our delegation, Senator John Kennedy, Senator Bill Cassidy, and Representative Mike Johnson, to secure appropriations for Air Force Global Strike.
Appropriations funding, such as what the BRF is working on, is very important and very valuable because these programs come out of a research and development state, and you see the importance and the value to the Air Force and to the different private sectors. But in order to get them there, there's that additional funding that is required to advance the programs.
So my ultimate goal is that we're going to make it really easy for companies that have super innovative technologies, bring those technologies to the government to use for defense.
Our thought is, hey, why can't we help recruit companies for Air Force Global Strike and get them in touch with LED, Louisiana Economic Development, to cohesively have an attack on bringing, high-tech companies to Shreveport.
Our core focus is assisting our government, its agencies, and the military in modernizing systems to be more competitive in today's day and age. And we expect that, especially in our government work, we're going to double our workforce over the next 3 years.
We're working with a lot of community partners, and it takes a lot of collaboration to make and build a defense industry around Air Force Global Strike Command.
It's a win-win for everybody. And I really thank BRF in trying to bring together a defense initiative here in Northwest Louisiana for our warfighters and specifically Global Strike Command.
One of the things we do is we try to find holes in our economy and to fill those holes to support the overall ecosystem. So when I went out to Los Angeles, they're all about digital media and they're doing visual effects.
Here at BRF and DMI, we're really excited about the opportunity to be a leader in the digital media education space throughout the state of Louisiana.
DMI is just a shoe-in for distance learning, and there's no reason why we can't offer this kind of educational opportunity to all the kids throughout the state.
This is a grant through LED that'll allow us to expand the animation and visual effects program to a statewide audience online and also make it available through distance classrooms at the University of New Orleans campus, Nunez Community College campus, and also the NSU campus in Natchitoches.
This is going to provide opportunities for students across our entire state. By being leaders in the online space, it allows us to have partnerships with visionaries like those coming from DMI. I believe that this is really going to be a game changer.
The Entertainment Development Fund was launched this year to boost workforce development and provide education and to give opportunities to our state's content creators like those at BRF's Digital Media Institute for their commitment to providing more opportunities for Louisiana residents to obtain the education and training needed to contribute and power our state's entertainment industry.
I'm so excited to share with you that CMIT is expanding its footprint not only to consolidate 3 arms of its program in one building, but also equipping this building with state-of-the-art equipment to be able to produce a lot more different type of radiopharmaceutical for targeting different disease. A few years ago, we got engaged in collaboration with one of the endocrinologists at Cook's Children's Hospital in Fort Worth, Texas.
Well, we're very excited that recently we got announced to be one of the 6 Center of Excellence for the treatment of hyperinsulinism in the world. And indeed, the natural history of this condition is that 40 to 60% of children who have it will be brain damaged. Of course, one of our goals with treatment is to prevent brain damage and to prevent ongoing hypoglycemia, and that's where our collaboration with BRF in making 18F-DOPA for our 18F-DOPA study has really helped us to cure patients with focal disease. And once they're cured, of course, there's no ongoing hypoglycemia, and thus you eliminate the risks of ongoing brain damage.
So CMIT has been doing PET scans or was engaged in a lot of the clinical studies in Alzheimer's patients. The good news is recently we established a new collaboration with Dr. Roger Kelly at LSU Ochsner. So we are the only PET imaging center who is involved under IDEA study to recruit Alzheimer's patients for this study.
It's a very good collaboration with, some focus on pragmatic information. CMIT produces the tracer because Alzheimer's is such a devastating disease. We all know that. And if we're able to potentially stop it in its tracks and potentially find agents that can help cause some repair, it's an absolute blessing. We want to be an identified center because it allows us to provide these services and imaging and agents available to the patients locally so they don't have to travel to other parts of the country.
We're happy to have partnered with the City of Shreveport for the $5.36 million watershed grant to remediate flooding of critical facilities and neighborhoods.
The Shreveport Healthcare and Development Corridor is a key piece of infrastructure in Shreveport. We can turn this essential component of our community into an economic engine that fuels economic growth.
All these initiatives are beneficial to our community, and we're not only going to see the area of the Kings Highway corridor change, but the whole city change. It's amazing what I think is going to happen in the next 10 years.
We as a community working together can build a place where there are high-paying technology jobs in North Louisiana.
The BRF is probably one of the most misunderstood organizations in the community. What we really are is support for people. We're support for the military. We're support for the startups. We're support for ongoing businesses that need expansion. We're support for fundraising for entrepreneurs.
And the way that we make this community safer and the way that we have a thriving economy is making sure we focus on those industries of the future, which include technology. BRF is a critical part of our economy and a critical part of Shreveport's story going forward.
We hope that this synergy will catch on and the whole ecosystem will start working on its own. We believe if we continue to bring jobs here, people will come and Shreveport will thrive.